Hi there, my name's Jane Anderson, and this is the Jane Anderson Brand You Show. It's the podcast for experts who want to have greater impact, influence, and income for their businesses and careers. As experts, we know that people buy from people and work with people who they know, who they like, and who they trust. So I'm so glad you're here, because it's that time again now to really amplify how you show up in the world. All right, thank you so much for joining us today. You've joined the Jane Anderson Brand You Show, where we talk about all things brand you. So that's whether you're a solopreneur, you're operating under yourname.com, and where we talk about some of those things that can inspire you if you're struggling in your business and you're competing on price, or you're not being perceived in the right way, or we get experts in to talk about how you can really amplify your results. So today I'm so excited that we get to talk to an absolute guru of coaching. And so our expert today that we're catching up with, she features in the media. She's a regular on TV and radio. She's a regular contributor to Australian magazines, and that includes things like the Cosmopolitan magazine, Women's Health, Weight Watchers, and Nature and Health. She has her own confidence column in the UK press and a regional Australian website. She's also part of Southern Cross Radio's self-esteem team, and she has been featured on Studio 10. She's kind of like the in-house life coach on Studio 10 with Ida Buttrose and Jessica Rowe. So she is also the author of the book, The Confidence Coach. So please welcome, I'm so excited to have you, Lisa Phillips.
Well, thank you so much, Jane. It's a pleasure to be here as well. So thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, you're such an inspiration, Lisa. Particularly for me, but I know for so many other solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, women in business, and people who start their businesses and make that transition, I guess, out of their careers and into running their own show. And in some of the other podcasts we've talked about, the growth is that 50% by 2020, 50% of the workforce are going to be self-employed. And I think we'd love to probably know. Would you be happy to share with us a little bit about what you do and how you help even some of the clients that you see?
Yeah, absolutely, Jen. And you're spot on what you just said there. There's definitely increasing statistics about more and more people leaving perhaps their usual corporate full-time job and becoming a solopreneur. And I'm seeing that more and more. And in particular, I end up people contact me because they know they want to do it. Perhaps they've had a burning desire inside of them for a while. And now I guess their shift in focus is moving away from having a work position into more of having a purpose.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing that, and that's great, because I'm actually seeing more and more people saying, maybe get to a little bit later on in life and sort of say, hold on, I'm not really doing what I want to do. I don't feel good in my position. That there's got to be something more out there. But one of the things I'm sure that both of us have come across in our business is, well, how do I do it? And also, I'm scared.
Yeah.
The fear.
Yeah.
What can I do? I know I've got this great idea, but I've also got a mortgage, and I've also maybe got kids, and I don't know where to start. So, I end up I help a lot of people at the beginning of their business, sort of making that transition. And also later on, again, when we've all been a solopreneur for a while, it's easy to lose motivation.
Yes.
And, again, that's why I assist people getting back into their purpose, because when you're actually on your purpose, it's really easy to keep that motivation going. And then I guess throughout the process of being a solopreneur as well, we have new experiences, new things come up. So it's all about being confident, believing in yourself, and also extinguishing some of those fears that might be holding you back.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I mean, even as for myself, I can totally relate to that in terms of, linking to purpose. I think, this feeling of feeling fulfilled in your work, do you find some people feel like they've got more in them? And that's kind of what you're saying around, is this all there is? And
absolutely.
Right.
I call it my stream analogy, and I talk about this quite a lot in the workshops that I do. That basically, as individuals, if we imagine ourselves sort of positioned in the middle of a stream in a canoe, and we can take our stream and our canoe downstream, which is very easy. It feels good. We're in the flow, and that's purpose. And it feels great. And we've all had those moments. But many of us are putting our canoe in the stream and basically struggling upstream.
Yes.
And it doesn't feel very good. We beat ourselves up. And most of all, we don't get anywhere because we're so busy sort of focusing the wrong way, I just say. So, yeah, it's a lot of people will come to see me that maybe sort of, they're spending a lot of time upstream and just realizing they want to go downstream a little bit more and feel better. So I help them move their canoe.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I can feel being in the canoe. It totally makes sense to me. That's right. Fantastic. So what made you do this? I guess there's kind of two things to tap into your expertise here, Lisa. One is that you've done this journey yourself and you also help other people with it. So I guess what made you decide to do this type of work?
I think for me, it's all been a bit of a journey, and I'm, particularly focusing on the self-belief and confidence side, because that's an area I absolutely struggled with, from a very early age.
Right.
Self-esteem, believing I could do it, and also just believing that, I'd see other people be successful in business, but I always didn't think that was for me. I guess I had a bit of this, what I call a bit of this belief going on that I couldn't do that myself. So, it's very interesting. Sort of what brought me to this place was, first of all, building up my own self-confidence and self-esteem, and also realizing that, I spent a lot of my life as an accountant, which is so upstream, so upstream for me. And then realizing, okay, this isn't making me happy. It was a time I got divorced. Sort of my life was, I guess, falling apart. So I thought, well, I may as well do something that does make me happy, and from there train to be a coach. And then things, as being a coach, you naturally gravitate into perhaps the area that is your purpose.
Yes.
For some people it's business, for some people it's working with entrepreneurs, and for you, your expertise there is absolutely sort of in the branding area as well. But for me, it was more about, I guess, the confidence and self-esteem of things. So yeah.
And because I don't know about other people, but I find there's, like you said, I remember my very first week that I went out on my own. I didn't sleep nearly for the first week. I was scared to death. Yeah. And I thought, suddenly I don't have an income. I don't have a job. and I mean, I had clients at the time and I made the transition, but it was, I just remember going, I'm now fully responsible for myself. Like and I've always felt that way, but I guess it was like, I don't have a paycheck. A pay packet coming in.
Isn't it?
It's very scary. I will never forget that first week. So you talked about the confidence of when people first start their businesses. Are there other times during, the business cycle where people are at in there as solopreneurs, sometimes a pretty lonely existence, but are there specific times that you see, that you find that you're seeing patterns when people come to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. It's sometimes around about the sort of 3 to 4 month stage.
Oh,
where,
right.
They've had that excitement. They've thrown themselves into the business, full of that excitement, full of that purpose, full of that passion, but the clients aren't coming.
Yeah, okay.
And then, as you said, you might have a mortgage, rent, we've all got sort of financial responsibilities, and then the fear can really hit.
Right.
It's like, and that is a key stage. And that's where I particularly work with people on their self-belief, because if you don't believe in yourself, how are people going to believe in your business?
Yes.
And, that's really about pricing is a key thing, being confident enough to ask for what you're worth, valuing yourself. And I see this a lot, as business owners, people not valuing their time, not valuing their expertise, and therefore this goes through to their pricing as well. So it, you know, particularly at the beginning of the process, making that leap into starting your own business, and then sort of a few months down the line when perhaps you're thinking, oh, now what? You know, why aren't the business clients coming? And tell you what a lot of us do, we compare ourselves very much to other people as well. We see what other people are doing and we say, oh, well, how come they're doing that? That means I'm not good enough. And, you know, I say to people as well, going back to the stream analogy, we've all got our own stream.
Yes.
So, you know, when you see somebody else doing something, that's their stream. That's their purpose. It doesn't need to be yours. So stick on your own stream.
Yes.
And, you know, go downstream. And it is all about, I'm a big believer, I work a lot with manifestation and the law of attraction. You know, if I feel good, then I'm more likely to attract what I want into my life. So, you know, although those big fears come up in different stages, if you can keep consistent on your stream going downhill, then it's so much easier. So much easier.
Yeah, and that I can relate to that. I would imagine that perhaps some of your clients, like you said, you kind of come to you going, well, this person's doing really well. What am I not doing that they're doing?
Gosh. And I did it. I don't know if you did.
I did.
Did
it. Yeah.
You know, and I remember sort of when I first started off my coaching, people saying to me, oh, you need to do executive coaching, that's where the money is. And I thought, oh gosh, maybe I need to do that. And set up a website, spent money on it, and it really wasn't my purpose.
Right.
But that was me looking at other people and going, well, that's what they're doing. You know, and I think again, that's something to really, I think that helps with confidence with solopreneurs, remembering you're on your own stream.
Yes.
And don't have to follow everybody else, because if you do compare yourself, you just end up beating yourself up, and then you go upstream.
Yeah, and your confidence comes from validation, doesn't it? Like if you've got reinforcement that you're on the right track, then your confidence starts to pick up. But when you're not getting validation, like you're not getting the sales and you're not getting in front of the right clients or whatever, geez, that's a tough period, isn't it? To stay on purpose.
It is, and that's about validating yourself at that time. That's about saying to yourself, it's okay. You know, I don't have to sort this out this red hot minute. It's going to be okay. Things will come into place. I'm okay, rather than, oh my goodness, you know, I'm a failure. It's not going to work. So again, that's that internal validation that will keep you going downstream.
Okay. All right. That's great. I love that advice. I think that's fantastic. So, You've just recently written your book, and you're right in the middle of doing your launches and all that sort of stuff. So I know how busy you are at the moment and trying to get you. So I'm so excited that we've been able to catch you while you're ready to do this this work with your book. So perhaps you want to tell us a bit about that?
Absolutely. The book is called The Confidence Coach, and it's released by Exile Publishing, and it'll be out in Australia and New Zealand on the 1st of July and the 1st of August in the UK, which is all good for my family and friends. And then the US, actually, later on in the year. And the Confidence Coach book, again, it's split into 3 key parts. The first, I guess, part, I have this analogy I call, you can't put ice cream on top of poo. And so the first chapters is about getting rid of the poo, the negative beliefs, the stuff that keeps you stuck, the fears. And then from there, the next step is, okay, now we've created some room.
Yes.
Let's really start to instill the stuff that will keep you going downstream, the stuff that makes you, the stuff that keeps you on purpose. And then the final section of the book is where I just give tips in particular areas of your life, such as in your career, in your relationships, so specific areas for confidence. So yeah, I'm really excited about it, Jane. It's been, you know, again, writing is a passion of mine. I'm very blessed that I enjoy writing. So yeah, I'm really excited about the book coming out as well. So all good stuff.
Oh, it's just exciting for you. And, you know, even for the people listening today, we talk a little bit about, so I have a program coming out, it's an online program which is around positioning and just even the value of a book. And, you know, your book has got to be written about your future and what it is that you want to be working on, not necessarily your past. And and so I guess when I'm working with people with their books, is to think about what is it that, like you said, what's your purpose? What is it that you're here, and if you woke up tomorrow in 5 years' time, that you're doing, and that's the book that you need to write.
Beautiful.
And, so I love that you've done the confidence coach, because I think, I don't know about you, but when I'm working with clients, it's just the biggest thing that holds everybody back to reach that potential, particularly in their business. You've got to protect that confidence and guard it, don't you?
And own it.
Yes.
And even, I think everybody thinks everybody else is more confident than they are. And that's a bit of a thing to get past as well. You're okay. You're fine. And what you said there with the book as well, that there's no point focusing on that past as well. It's about looking forward. It's about creating. So whether, that's a book or positioning, it's about moving forward into that, which is great, where your work is perfect.
Well, so tell us a bit about, what are your plans for the next 12 to 18 months? So you've got your book underway. What else is happening in the future for you?
Well, it's quite an interesting time because for me, I've really sort of put my intent out there. I want to be working with larger groups on confidence.
Right.
And it's quite interesting because, there's a lot of workshops, big workshops out there. There's a lot of corporate workshops. There's a lot of workshops run by large organizations. But sort of when you pitch the idea of confidence, they're like, oh my goodness, we can't talk about that. Yes. It's like almost seen as one of those soft topics.
Right.
Whereas, you and I have both discussed here, it's pivotal. It's pivotal to whether you're running your own business or you're, in a huge organization. So I really want to try and get the work that I do more sort of focused into a larger audience. I mean, I do a lot of work with women on self-esteem.
Yes.
I do things like that. But I really would like to even take it into organizations realizing the value of empowering and having confident staff, and also the value of having a workforce that's going downstream.
Yes. I love that. That.
So that's exciting.
Oh, I just think you've got so much energy and passion and enthusiasm. You can just hear it every time I get to speak with you,
thank you.
And it just, it's that energy that you need to bring, and you've got to protect to make your business successful, don't you?
And don't let anyone, I say this to a lot of my clients. There's a lot of people who are on different streams that will say to you, what you're doing on your stream isn't right.
Yeah.
You need to do it this, and always follow your purpose, follow your body. Your emotions are your best indicator.
Right.
They will tell you, and they will give you that momentum. If you follow that, you follow what's true for you, it will give you that momentum to move forward, to feel good and to feel motivated as well.
I think that's just such sage advice. Thank you so much, Lisa, for coming along.
It's a pleasure to be on the show, Jane. Really appreciate it, because I love the work that you do as well. So thank you.
Well, I want to make sure that people can get in touch with you, so that So where can we find your book? And if when you are running your programs, how do we find you? How do we get in touch with you?
The best way to reach me is actually on my website, which is just www.amazingcoaching.com.au. That's got everything on there. The book's called The Confidence Coach. Like I said, it will be out in out in Australia on the 1st of July, but you can also find information about that on my website, or it will be in a bookshop near you, which is very exciting as well. So, and anyone can reach me on info@amazingcoaching.com.au as well.
Thank you, Lisa. I cannot wait to read your book so I can pump my confidence as well and get out talking about it. So all the very best with your book. Congratulations. I acknowledge the hard work that goes into doing that. You're a better writer than me, so maybe it's
I love it. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Tough gig. So,
thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.